Hello everyone, I'm Gina Stanhope and welcome to our Sellers Panel. We're joined today by CEOs that built and sold their companies in 2024. Steve Wargalla and John Dickey, Managing Directors of QStrat, which was acquired by Embrace Software to strengthen its industrial solutions portfolio. Next, Richard Addotta, CEO and Co-Founder of WRM, acquired by Urbint in its effort to transform how utilities respond to severe weather events. And finally, Scott Petersen, co-founder of HireClick, which was acquired by Asure as part of its mission to provide businesses with the tools they need to manage their workforce efficiently and effectively. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Let's get started with our first question, starting with you, Steve. What was your motivation for going through the M&A process?
We had always planned to sell the company after a certain period of time. We bought the company in 2016, and we had a 5-year plan to try and exit at that point. It actually took about 8 years before we ended up in that situation, but we just felt it was time to move on and try something different.
Thanks, Steve. Now, John?
The motivation for selling the business was really moving to the next phase of our business career and our lives. Steve and I were in a little bit different stages of life, and he was looking to really take a larger step back. So one of the goals for me personally was to put my partner in a position where he could do that. Mm-hmm. And based on the way that we had operated the business, Steve had taken most of the technical side of the business, where I was more operations and sales. And so that was not something that I could take on myself. And I wasn't comfortable taking on another partner to try and fill that. So I think Steve and I decided it was the best way to do it was to try and sell or merge with another organization that could backfill those skill sets. Yeah.
Thanks, John. And Richard, what about you?
To me, it was more, it was the right time in my life, I think, more than anything. I don't know if it was so many, I didn't go into it with, we have to hit this metric, and then we're going to sell the company, right? I knew that was an ultimate goal, but how we got there or why we got there, I'm not really sure. So to me, it was more the right time. I think we had gotten the blue chip customers that we were looking for. We had gotten the traction, and we needed some support to kind of continue to grow it and make it into what it had the capability to become. So there was a day in March where I think I just decided this is the right time, and I gave you a call and said, I think we're ready to start. And that was it. Yeah, it was just really, timing seemed from a multitude of reasons, personal and business reasons.
Thank you, Richard. Scott?
Learned about Corum through all of the just the reach out online. We started getting involved in some educational, type opportunities, seminars, webinars, things like that. And at that time, we were starting to get a decent amount of inbound interest. And so to be able to find those resources and really learn proactively about what was going on in the market was great. The inbound interest, we did field some, fairly serious calls, we thought, and I learned really quickly what I didn't know about the process. So the more that those calls came in, it really told us that if we're going to get serious about this, we need to go find a professional.
Thank you, Scott. Now, moving on to the next question. What key lesson would you share with tech CEOs considering M&A? We'll start with Richard this time.
So this wasn't the first time, right? So to me, getting the right people who know what they're doing, right? So that was a lesson for me, know what you know and know what you don't know. You get people to help you on the things you don't know. So working with you guys was definitely a really smart move. If I could think about what would be different, I don't know. Having patience, is a big part of it. Understanding the ups and downs, which you guys tell you is going to happen, right? But being prepared for that and always, going through that, and just having a level head, right? And understanding you're doing this to get to an outcome, and continually work towards that, and making sure that it's kind of aligned with what you're looking for. But no, I think having experts that know what they're doing and that guide you through it is is a really smart step that you could take. That definitely helped me.
Thanks, Richard. Scott?
As you get into the process from the very beginning, as much as you can, try to think like an acquiring company and try to, metrics and measurements and being able to just have that stuff ready. With the more prepared you are going into the process, the much faster you're going to get through to the end game there.
Thank you, Scott. And Steve?
If you're in the software business, you're probably not really understanding the M&A process. Usually you're so focused on building your business, taking care of your people, that you really don't have a good understanding of how to sell. So that advice, I think, is invaluable. So do your research, get educated, and make sure you hire the right people to help you sell your business. You can't do it by yourself. It's not worth attempting it.
Excellent. Finally, let's go to John.
The advice I would give to other CEOs is make sure that you're ready to do it. So as I mentioned, Steve and I, we really spent a lot of time thinking about it. Was it the right thing for us? Was our company positioned properly to do it? Were we even going to have a successful process if we went into it? So I think be sure that it's right for you and it's right for your company. And that would be another thing, is educate yourself in the process so that you're not learning on the fly, and as much as you can to understand and talk to other folks that have been through it and what their experience is. So,
next question. How has life changed since selling your company? And what are you excited to do next? Scott, we'll start with you.
Life is honestly really good. It's got its ups and downs. We were at it for many years. In total, like 17 years. We had a lot of pivots along the way. And the biggest thing right now, after selling the business, we're both involved in the company that acquired us on a full-time basis. But really being able to kind of see it from a higher, to see it from a wider perspective, and being able to step out as the business owner and really focus on the things that could really improve the business on a personal level. There was a lot of sleepless nights as an entrepreneur. Obviously from a financial perspective, it feels really good. It feels like a real sense of accomplishment, and it puts us in a spot to, tackle what's ever next. Our children will be out of the house next year. It's going to open up a lot of doors for my wife and I. What's next? I'm really anxious to do more traveling. Just explore the things that when you're really involved in the business, you just don't dare do, right? And then on a business level, I don't know. And I'm 53 years old. I feel like there's a really blank whiteboard in trying to map this out. And for about 2 weeks, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, and now I couldn't be more excited. So we'll see. I don't have a clear path as to what it is, but I'm really excited to go dive into it.
Thanks, Scott. Now, John?
For the future, I'm excited in being able to really operate in a different environment. So, as every business owner knows, there's a certain mindset that it takes to run your own business, and you're fully invested in it every day when you get up out of bed, and there's also a responsibility that goes along with that. And so that was the other thing that really was important for me, was the responsibility towards our customers and ensuring that they would get the support they need and so on going forward. So I didn't feel like we could just sell to anybody that would leave our customers high and dry. That we do focus a lot on customer service and customer retention. So I didn't want that to fall by the wayside. It's an important part of the company that we built. So having another organization purchase us that has the support, that has those kinds of things to keep our customers satisfied going forward, that was a big responsibility that was lifted off my shoulders and Steve's shoulders. So And now my partner is now in a position where he can retire. He can sort of step back significantly and feel comfortable in doing that we're not leaving our customers high and dry.
Great. Thanks, John. Now, on to Steve.
At this point, I'd say the next few years is going to be sort of trying to experience what else there is to do out there. Certainly my golf game needs work. My tennis game needs work. I think I'm just going to take a couple of months and see what and experience different things and try and figure out where we go from here. Grandkids, I have to teach them how to ski properly for sure. But I think it's going to be interesting. Probably keep my toes in the water business-wise to some degree. I think it'll be a transition for sure.
Thank you, Steve. Now to you, Richard.
It's great, right? I mean, there's a lot less stress, right? We were a bootstrap company, that worked for everything that we got, and any shortfalls came out of my bank account. And, that's a difficult way to run a business, but very rewarding when you sell your company, right? And also because you're in complete control, right? But with all that control and with all those great things also comes all the responsibility, all the downsides, and the negatives that you always have to prepare for and be ready for, right? Now we've taken that off the table, right? So to me, that's that relief, that pressure that you feel all the time, has now been removed. And the company that bought us, right, I think is really going to help the product to achieve what it has the capability to do, to be that standard kind of platform and to help everybody get their power back when it goes out, right? Which is really what the goal is the human side of it, right? And so to fulfill that, they're going to help make that happen. And for me, it was a very positive outcome and changes my life in 1,000 ways. But the best one is probably mental health wise, right? Of just having that all be, that risk all being gone now, right? And having a great outcome. I'm excited to be a dad, right? I'm excited to be able to take care of my family, right? And to not miss any of those things. It's not lost on me that I'm, younger than, some people who get into this position, and to do that when you have 3 little kids, and to now be able to be present to everything that they're going to do, right? And to be, there and not miss anything, because you do miss a lot when you're building a business, right? And you are putting your heart and soul into it and the time and the commitment. And now really to be able to pay that back, right? And to take the next however long that is, 10, 15 years of all these things that they're going to experience, and to be able to be there for all of it and not miss a moment if I don't want to, right? Like to have that flexibility, being afforded that opportunity does not get lost on me. And I'm extremely grateful for that next chapter.
Great insights, everybody. We appreciate you being on with us today to talk about your M&A experience. Corum was honored to help each of you achieve the optimal outcome for your businesses.